Good morning, sisters. And yes, this is for the sisters. So if you're a dude, you can listen if you want, if you feel led to, because it might have something in it that you know. I've got my camera sitting on my lap on a podium of sorts, so it might shake a little bit. I apologize if it does. And the wind, I hope it's not bothering you. I have the window open for a reason. I wanted to actually sit outside today, but it's way too windy. You can see the trees behind me. I mean, we're talking 60-mile-an-hour winds today. So I can't sit outside, but I have the wind because I just feel like I need to have that natural air today for whatever reason. So ladies, sisters, this is for you. Oh, man. And I may look a little careworn and a little tired. I kind of just threw my hair into some braids. It's tweaking out everywhere, trying to contain this crazy wind hair. And I'm telling you, it's been a rough few days. And I'm sure that you can agree with me in that. So I keep messing with my camera. I'm tired too. So bear with me, but this information needs to come to you today. Okay. And I have notes here, so maybe I'll just put them right down here and read them from you. All right, sisters, ladies, my girls, my family, my feminine divines. Have you been under a specific attack recently? Aimed right at your feminine heart. Driven by uncharacteristic thoughts, behaviors, feeling somewhat tormented? Your heart seemingly being torn to shreds in one way or another, and it literally feels like a shredding. I really can't explain it in either way. Hard to control emotions. Has it revolved around the masculine aspect in your life? Relationships in your life? Have you been compelled by passions of the heart? Not necessarily bad in origin, but somehow they have been moved that way, perceived that way. Have you felt guilt? Shame coming out of nowhere? There's a balancing occurring, my darling, beautiful, divine spirits. This is a heads up. All right, so it just says to tell my experience. I'm going to put my notes down because I didn't write notes on this. I wanted it to come directly from my heart. For some time now, and in hindsight, I can see it's been happening for much longer than the last few days. But for some time, I have been in this process, and it just keeps hammering at me and hammering at me. Well, last night, went to bed, everything was great, had a great day, everything was copacetic. I mean, felt like a champion. I mean, the energy was good, it was all great. 1:30 some odd time in the morning, I wake up, and I'm tortured again with these thoughts, this same process that I just described to you. And I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I didn't know what to do with them. They were so accusatory. They were so heavy. I felt so bad about them. I felt, oh, it was awful. I can't explain to you the awfulness. It was culminating last night. I ugly cried. And you ladies know what I'm talking about, right? I literally reached a space where I wanted to be dead. I wanted to be gone from here. I didn't want to do this anymore. I've reached the end of my rope. I couldn't do it anymore. And I felt such burdens for everything on this entire journey that led me thus far, that I did wrong. Now, of course, there's no wrong and right. We know this. If we are spirit-filled and in our kingdom space, we know this, but I was feeling it. It was there. It was real. I could feel it all over me. And so I just cried and cried and cried and cried hard, feeling the depths of this mourning, this sorrow, this pain of, I just felt disgusted with myself, and I couldn't explain to you why. Not exactly. There were things coming at me, but they were accusations, and I know better. So, of course, I cried and cried and cried until I got to that space. I went within, as we know we need to do to find the truth. And then, of course, as always, the space came over me, and the words were soft and quiet. They led me on a very quick journey. I took some notes, and here I am. So, here's my notes. And I know it seems a little bit impersonal, but this is how I process my thoughts. I'm very scatterbrained sometimes, and if I don't process my thoughts and write them down, I'll suck. I suck anyway, but I'll suck worse. Let's put it that way, okay? All right. Father reminded me in it that as I walk through these things, so that I may come out of them. He reminded me very gently, this isn't about you. This is about you walking through these things to come out of it, and then to encourage those with eyes to see and ears to hear. And if it's you today, you're going to know. All right, ladies, our ability to create due to the life force creation that is within us cannot be idle. It will not stay still. It will create one way or another. One side of the duality of the other. It will create. It is time for the balancing out of the curse of submission in the Adam and Eve story. That which has made us subject to the masculine. Now in here I wrote a little note to myself to discuss this subject, because this is a very touchy subject for a lot of people, and it's being subject to the masculine is not something that is even, it's not even something Father would ever want us to be. This kind of subject is that curse in the story of Adam and Eve, where, the God, the little g God, Yaldabaoth, said, well, we're just going to make her basically be under his feet. That's how we're going to handle this shit. Oop, did I just say that? Oops, I did. Sorry. No children should be watching this anyway, but anyways, I still can't believe I said that on video. I'm not taking it out because I don't want to have to redo this. But anyways, so this subject thing is a curse that's been put upon us. And I'm just going to leave it there, okay? Because we're going to talk a little more about that in a minute. It's time for the divine feminine to be returned to her corrected and full origins. We as divine feminine must understand what this balance is and what it is not. Because the energy, the frequency to cure this, to feel it, to fix it, to heal us is here. That's what we've been feeling, and we've been being opposed. This is a huge, huge correction. Half of the Trinity, if you will, in words. Divine Father, Divine Mother, Divine Creation, Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine. It's half of the equation, my loves, my beautiful girls. This is big. So we have to be corrected to our full origins. It is not a power to lord over. It is power. Oh yes, do not get me wrong. This is powerful. But to take that power and submit it willingly unto the masculine in service, in love, not by force of imprisonments as it has been thus far, by choice, sovereign choice, to partner with the divine masculine and restore the perfect balance in love. That is what it is. It has nothing to do with lording anything over or saying, finally, I get to take back my crown. And, there's a lot of ways this can go. And beware, because you will be pulled in the direction for it to go the wrong way. You will. Be prepared for that. We must have this for the time we are now entering into, my loves, my sisters. We're in. Game on. We're in it. It's happening. The time isn't short. We're in it. It will look like many things, sometimes not even close to what appears like submission. That's okay. You will know in your heart when to yield and when to step up into your divine counsel, because you have that, and masculine divinity needs it, as in we need it too. I mean, we don't need it, we have it, we need to perceive it. Both are a part of this, both yielding and stepping up into that divine power to counsel. Both. Both are in love and perfected. Listen to the still quiet voice. You will know when it's time to do one or the other. And I'm walking through this too, and it feels familiar, but it also feels strange and unknown too, all at the same time. Duality. This yoke that is being corrected, this deficiency being corrected, be aware of the warning in the story of Sophia. For the duality will work hard to take this correction and corrupt it. Believe me when I say that. Believe me, and we're talking, and you've been feeling it if you resonate with what I said in the beginning of this. Believe me when I say, I just walked through it. Awful. Awful. Depths I don't want to see again. Awful. And you probably can resonate. You've probably been there yourself if you're hearing this. We mustn't let our thoughts filled with this life creation in them. We mustn't go forth with them, with without the blessing of the Holy Spirit and the consent, the agreement of our masculine partners, the divine masculine. Whatever that speaks to your heart. Now, I know that can mean lots of things, and I'm not going to define that for you. I wouldn't dare. Each definition for each individual divine spirit is going to be different. You will know. Whatever that speaks to your heart, let it. It will mean many different things to each of us. This restoration of balance and power is good. It's good. As well as good, though, it is also needing to be understood what it means to have this back. Because this is a correction. This is full force. This is restoration. This is the end game. This is new earth. This is it. This is the restoration of all things. So, here's what we need to do. Go to Father. This was the part where I was in the bottom of that barrel after ugly crying for quite some time. Oh man, it was ugly. Go to the Father of the all, who is most merciful. Go in innocence and tell him what you have done prior to this, in that broken state of creation without Holy Spirit blessing, without the consent and agreement of the divine masculine. Tell him. It will surface, and you may be crying too. Tell him. If there's a deficiency, he will lovingly correct that deficiency, and he's going to restore you to the full place where you already are. He's going to restore your perception. It will be beautiful. It will be painful, but it will be beautiful. Then go to your divine masculine counterparts. If there's not a specific one, even if it's only in your heart, maybe to all brothers, maybe just to Father masculine alone, whatever it means to you. In understanding of this paradigm that we were in, of the correction to an age-old matrix curse, understanding this, ask for his forgiveness. Our partner, the divine masculine, ask for his forgiveness. The forgiveness of your partner for creating. Your divine feminine thoughts are filled with creation and cannot be idle. They will create. They have created. And a lot of it's not been good. That's what was so hard. Forgiveness for creating without his consent, without his agreement. And then forgive yourself, which you are already in that state of forgive, and perceive that you already are in that forgiveness. It's done. It's finished. Then lastly, ask Holy Spirit, the mother of us all, to give you her blessing today. Do it today. Then every time from here on out in this end game, when you are moved to wield your divine feminine power, your life creation power through thought, heart kingdom, when it moves in here, do this thing that I just said, this very specific thing. Make sure you do these things in the divine Trinity, in the capacity in which they are needing to be done, what you were created for to do. Okay, we'll look at we're 13 minutes. This was a little long. Hopefully it doesn't take 5 years to upload. But anyways, it was very important. This is big. It's integral. It's so important. My sisters, if we do this, we are correcting this age-old imbalance in true reality. This is the cool part. For now, in this time, right now, you and I get to be a part of this correction. We're being given what we need to do our part in it. This balance must be restored for the battle we're heading into at this very moment. So say it with me today. Say it with me. We're going to say, and so it is. So are you ready? I want us all to say it in unison together as the divine feminine creations that we are, well-loved, beautiful and perfect in our essence. You ready? And so it is. Namaste. I'll come back to you soon.